Hey, what is up, guys? It's Brendan here, and today we're going to be taking a look at 7 of the best brewery POS systems. So this is if you're looking for a brewery point-of-sale system where you can sell beer, as well as even cases of beer, or however you want to sell your brews in your brewery, of course. So that's what we're going to be diving into here in today's video. And before we dive into things, of course, I do want to mention, if you want to check out any of the companies mentioned here in today's video, you can go and check out those links linked down below in the video description. Again, some of which are affiliate links, which can be a great way to help out and support the channel. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the list. Again, the best brewery point of sale systems and software for you in your small business. So taking a look at that number 1 spot, we have a GoTab. Now, GoTab was originally founded by a brewery, and that is why they're at the number 1 spot on this list, just because they are 100% dedicated and created around breweries, bars, and restaurant, and that sort of side of the restaurant POS systems. So for a brewery specifically, they have brewery specific features that a lot of other companies just don't necessarily have the same exact quality and craftsmanship when it comes to their point of sale software and systems, really dedicated for breweries specifically, because that's really where GoTab actually got started. So that's why they're at the number 1 spot on this list. Again, if you do want to check out GoTab, you can go and check out those links linked down below in the video description, and you can request a demo with them. Now, more on GoTab specifically, they do have a couple different tiers in terms of the size and scale of your operation. I would recommend contacting them directly or requesting a demo to get specifics in terms of like pricing, depending on the size and scale of your operation. And that really honestly goes for pretty much every company in this list, is that pricing and scalability, depending on your operation, might look different. So you see the pricing pages, there's certain types of add-ons, hardware, software, depending on what your business actually needs, might really vary from company to company. As far as other features that GoTab has, again, why they're at the top of this list, because they are specifically built around, a suite of brewery POS solutions to enhance all parts of the guest experience, whether you're serving your guests at the counter, table, patio. GoTab empowers you with the tools for the guest experience. The nice thing is you can split tabs, you can build out dynamic tabs as well. You can do online ordering. People can order on their phones. You can also use any kind of point of sale hardware with them as well, which is pretty nice. So you're able to really build out a custom experience. This can also work great if you also sell food. You can also sell food with this system here too. So not only just beers and the brews that you're, not just the beer that you're brewing at your brewery, but you can also sell food as well, such as like pizza or anything, to attach to your overall like hospitality-based business, especially depending on the overall size and scale of your operation. You might sell in a lot of different venues, even just within your overall brewery. You might have other types of brewery tours that you do as well. So, depending on your operation, GoTab can help you get those custom features all set up for you. In addition to that, they do have a lot of breweries on their company because they, a lot of breweries do use them for their point of sale system, for specifically, as a brewery POS, because they are a brewery centric approach, as you can see here. They also have membership in the Brewers Guild and Brewers Association. So, they really are very, very equipped when it comes to like tap rooms and stuff like that, in terms of handling the payment processing, the team management, all those kind of things. So again, they also have loyalty programs too that you can get set up with. No long-term contracts either, which is a nice feature that some other POS companies don't necessarily offer as well. They also have inventory management, so you can keep track of all of your stock. You can also set up a kitchen display unit or a kitchen display system, which is great, for the back of house when you're getting those orders coming through, or, depending on how your overall operations are set up. You also have reporting, and you have a point of sale terminal as well as a handheld POS from GoTab as well. And you can also print out receipts too if you need to do that. So again, guys, like I said, brewery POSs, the best is GoTab for that. And that's why they're at the number 1 spot in this list. Moving on, next in this list at number 2, we have have Lightspeed. Now, Lightspeed services a more wider variety of different types of businesses. They not only focus on breweries and restaurants or restaurant-based businesses, they also service golf courses as well as retail, but they do service the restaurant sector pretty well, and they do also offer services catered specifically to breweries. So Lightspeed, as you can see, you have the easy to use brewery POS with analytics, so you can get set up with their hardware. This allows you to like split bills and things like that. Honestly, a lot of the similar things that you would see, from GoTab in terms of setting up the basic POS system. In terms of like counter, you have different locations that you can set up in a POS and setting up your floor maps and things like that. So you can really do a lot of the same types of systems. They do have good detailed analytics here within Lightspeed as well. One of the other benefits to Lightspeed is that they do also have e-commerce. So if you are looking at, getting started with maybe an e-commerce store as well, attached to your restaurant, then, maybe that would also make sense for you depending on your setup. I will say that Lightspeed is a more pricey solution in the industry. When you take a look at their pricing, again, this pricing is always subject to change depending on when you're watching this video, and it really does depend on the business. So I'm not focusing too much on pricing specifics in this video, but I will say Lightspeed is one of the more expensive options, hands down. So do just keep that in mind. You might be able to get custom rates with a more premium level plan that might actually save you money. But they are just a more expensive system in general, but it could make sense for you. And that's why I recommend, requesting a demo from a lot of the companies in this list, just so you can get a good feel on how it caters to your business specifically, because that is really outside the scope of what I can even cover in this video, is your business specifically. I will say GoTab also works good for scaling businesses too. So maybe if you have multiple locations and things like that, Lightspeed can also handle that as well. But that is something else to consider, is like the overall scalability of your POS. And I would say both of them are pretty good in that respect. Lightspeed also, maybe if you have other types of products that you're selling, it could be easier with Lightspeed if you also maybe have retail side of things is really something else that Lightspeed does focus on. If you also have like any other type of entertainment type of deal, GoTab can also work good in that situation. If you do more than just a brewery, but if you also maybe have some food hall type setup or a resort or a stadium or other types of food offerings that you do, GoTab can be good for that. Lightspeed can also be good for that as well. Although Lightspeed definitely has a little bit more in the retail sector side of things. If you're also considering that as well, when you're starting out with your brewery, maybe if you're also selling like some t-shirts or something like that. I mean, you could really still do that with GoTab as well. But it does just depend on what you think would be better equipped for you in that case. Moving on, at number 3, we also have a Toast. So Toast comes in at the number 3 spot. They are also similar to GoTab, completely focused on restaurants. So by comparison, Lightspeed focuses on retail, restaurants, and golf as well, whereas Toast is just restaurants, primarily. They do have some custom solutions for retail, kind of similar to how GoTab does, but really it is primarily focused around restaurants. So for a brewery, of course, that does make sense that you maybe want a company that is dedicated to the restaurant side of things. And Toast is a very popular solution that a lot of different restaurants, I see it firsthand, a lot of restaurants have started using Toast as well. They do have handheld POSs, things like that. Now, the customer service isn't necessarily going to be as closely tied to how the type of amazing customer service you can get from like GoTab, because GoTab's a much smaller company by comparison in terms of like having account managers and dedicated account managers and things like that. Toast is a little bit of a larger sort of like corporation side of things, but it does depend on what your needs are. The nice thing about Toast is that they do have a pretty simple, flexible system in terms of, selecting things like that. Now, they don't necessarily have all the same type of advanced level features that you might find from GoTab or from Lightspeed in terms of more advanced customization options that you have in terms of like the software side of things. It does get a little bit into the weeds with that. But with Toast, it is a pretty simple setup that a lot of businesses do like using them. And it is a pretty popular option. You can add on multiple different employees, different locations, and they are 100% focused, around restaurants. Now, they do have 2-year contracts, which is something to consider with Toast, so do bear that in mind. Again, the pricing does depend on your business. They do have a free starter kit option. That is pretty basic. You don't necessarily get all the same loyalty programs and things like that you would get with GoTab or honestly even Lightspeed. But you pay for that ultimately. In the long run, it does just depend on what might be better for your business. Toast is probably still going to be a little bit more expensive in the long run compared to GoTab. That's why they're at the top spot for breweries. And for a brewery type restaurant business, Toast will probably be a little bit more expensive for you if you want all the same higher end features. Especially if you're looking at even the basic version of GoTab does include a decent amount, or even their Pro plan does come with quite a bit included comparative to the Toast. Other Pro plans are still not even everything that you would necessarily need, and then you got to get into custom pricing. So that is something else worth considering. But again, Toast is completely focused around restaurants. That's why they're at the number 3 spot in this list. Moving on, at number 4, we have Square. Now, Square is a very popular point of sale system and solution within the POS industry, right? They focus in on restaurants, retail, beauty, services, websites. They really have a full gambit of different types of products. And that is great for, maybe beginners or people just getting started, or maybe if you do have a restaurant concept with a brewery and you also have a bar attached to your brewery, of course, it could be a good solution for you. However, I will say that they are a little bit more expensive and less scalable than maybe some of the other solutions. They are very easy to get set up with. You can get set up with them completely for free, which is a really nice perk, and you can start accepting payments. So if you have a pretty basic setup, Square can be the quickest, easiest thing to get set up with. However, it might be more expensive in the long run as you run a more scaled operation, and if you run a lot of payments processed through Square, you might also end up paying more money in the long run. One of the other features that people don't really like about Square for breweries specifically is that it's harder to keep cards on an active tab compared to how GoTab operates or Lightspeed or Toast operates. They're more catered around the restaurant side of things, especially GoTab. Or even Toast as well. Whereas Square does cater a little bit more to other different types of businesses, so they aren't 100% dedicated to breweries and bars, but they do have the options available there to add the restaurant display setup. If you need a kitchen display system, you can do that with Square. And they are a pretty easy system to learn and to use. A lot of people are already experienced with Square. You are sort of locked into their hardware, so you don't have as much hardware flexibility in terms of maybe if you already have some hardware. It's kind of more you gotta use the little Square flip tab things, which is fine if you don't already have any, but that could be a problem if you're maybe sort of upgrading your solutions and you already have some hardware, some POS hardware. That could be an extra expense worth considering as well. And again, they're just maybe not necessarily as scalable, but if you are looking for something very cheap and free to get set up with in the beginning, and maybe if you do run a smaller scale operation within your brewery, maybe you're more of a microbrewery in just one little location, and you don't brew a ton, you don't have a huge volume, Square might be a good solution for you just because of simplicity's sake. But honestly, I still would probably recommend other solutions already mentioned higher in this video than Square for breweries specifically, but they could be a good solution for you if you're just looking for something pretty simple and pretty free to get started, but it still might end up costing you more in the long run just to consider with Square. So that is something, worth considering. Some breweries do still use them. I definitely don't see as many breweries using them, but they could still be a good option as well if you want some of that additional flexibility for your business. Maybe if you want to use other products that they have, such as maybe their appointment setter, their website builder, other types of products that they do offer, then Square might be a good solution for you, but it does just depend on your business. Again, links are down below in the video description if you do want to check out any of the companies mentioned here in this video, including Square as well. Moving on, next in this list, we have Arved. I think that's how you pronounce it, Arved. It's a table brewery POS system. So obviously this brewery POS system is designed for tap rooms. So they are more focused and specifically around the different types of like bars, restaurants, cideries, even distilleries, breweries. That's sort of their bread and butter here. So they are a bit more focused, especially compared to Square, where they kind of cater to a much wider variety of different types of businesses. Arved is also more focused into the niche of breweries, cideries, distilleries, and also if you sell food in your restaurant or even if you have a bar attached as well. Now, one of the things is that a lot of people do say that Arved is a bit more expensive. That's why they're lower on this list, just because they can have high fees and things like that. So that's something worth considering. It still might be a good option for you depending on, what you like. If you do like their overall system and setup, they do have, brewery reporting, so you can see like different parts of your brewery. And they are, pretty brewery specific. That's why a good amount of people do compare them, especially when you're looking at like a GoTab or Toast or Square or Lightspeed. They really do fall right into that in terms of like best point of comparison as far as other companies. Again, that's Arved. So it could be a good option for you. They do have, as you can see here, they have a support team that's available via phone or email. They have a transparent reporting, as well as the different POS tools. You can also do the QR code ordering, which can also, help run your staff. So again, Arved could be a good option for you. Depending on where you're located, maybe it could be a good option. It's just a lot of people do say they are a little bit more expensive, but it still might be a good solution for you just because they are really catered specifically around breweries as well. Moving on, next in this list, we have Spot On. Now, Spot On, I would say, is probably the closest comparison to Square in terms of their overall setup. However, Spot On also does cater to a variety of different types of businesses when you're looking at like automotive, health and beauty, other small businesses, as well as the restaurants. They also just started with cafes and bakeries. They have been running breweries and restaurant point of sale for a while. They are one of the potentially cheaper options as well, depending on your overall payment processing and the types of payments that you process within your brewery. As you can see here, they do focus specifically for breweries as well. They do cater to that market. As you can see here, they do have a cloud-based brewery POS. So Spot On does have a pretty simple setup. As you can see, you can even do like the little tap to pay with a phone as well. Again, kind of similar to Square in terms of the overall look and feel, in my opinion. With Spot On, you can also do the QR code ordering as well with Spot On. They also have the loyalty programs, and as you can see here, the Loma Brewing Company does use them for their brewery and using the QR code scannings to sell their craft beer. You can also do scheduling, tip management, and payroll through them as well. So Spot On can be another good option. You can also manage events revenue and reservations through them too, which is pretty cool. And you can also set up a brew pub with like online ordering. This is kind of similar in my opinion to like GoTab's online ordering for their QR code scanning and system and setup, but Spot On could still be a good option for your brewery, depending on where you're located and what you're looking for out of a POS. Moving on, last but not least in this list, we have Lavu. Now, Lavu I have covered on the channel before for other restaurant POS systems, similarly how I've covered Toast before, as well as a lot of other companies in this list too. But Lavu does also offer brewery POS systems for, as you can see here, for bar, nightclub, pub, or brewery. Breweries specifically focusing on this video. But the nice thing about Lavu is they are also specifically catered to restaurants. They do also have an iPad setup. So maybe if you already have an iPad set up in your business, it could make sense to go with an option like Lavu. They are a pretty popular option within the restaurant space as well. As you can see here, you can also, their brewery overall loyalty experience. So they do have a lot of breweries that do use them. They have loyalty programs for breweries as well. You can set up tabs to sell not only just the brews, but also some food as well. And you can keep all the reporting in one location. As you can see here, they are a pretty popular POS option, and you can get a free demo with them as well. Again, links are down below in the video description if you do want to check out any of the companies mentioned here in today's video. And guys, that pretty much wraps up this video here of some of the best brewery POS systems and software for your small business. Again, if you run a brewery or you're looking to start a brewery, these could be the best options for you when you're looking to start processing payments and getting your overall, point of sale system set up in your business. If you do want to check out, again, any of the companies mentioned here in today's video, you can go and check out those links linked down below in the video description. Again, some of which are affiliate links, which can be a great way to help out and support the channel. If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button as well, and notification bell so you're notified whenever I upload a new video. Anyway, guys, that's all for today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.